Before we get in this morning's live, I want to go over a quick overview of what is transpiring through the crypto market. You're going to have to deal with my voice just a little bit here again today as I'm continuing to finish this draining process. Throat feels fine today. It's just getting this congestion out. And then your bronchioles get a little inflamed. So it's an interesting thing when you live in the cold side and you get these, I wouldn't necessarily say a real bad sickness. It's just the draining and stuff. It goes with the territory. But real quick, what we can see just like every single morning when it gets to about 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, no matter how good the market's been doing overnight, we see this overall come down right when we sort of wake up here. And we can see across the board, we had that initial pull down around 9 a.m. And it's not like they're substantial. It's not like it's something ridiculous. But do we remember yesterday when we were talking during the live? And we talked about, even though it was up here near 270, 271, that I expected it to come down here if it was going to reverse. And I even drew it out as such because I said we'd have to back test this area. I drew out the $2.63.8, and I said as long as we stayed above that on the retracement, everything was going to be looking golden in the morning. And so far, so good. So far, so good. So this is going to be a very, very, very interesting day, I think, for XRP. I know we're going into the weekend, and the last 9 weekends we've dumped on crypto. But as I tried to inform yesterday, I think this is a little different possibly this weekend because Tether Treasury just, what was it, 2 days ago now, printed $400 million. I believe it was, where was it, on Coinbase, ironically, I believe, or Binance, one of the two. So I think we're setting up in an interesting position here for XRP and for crypto as a whole. Algo was up about 6%. It's retraced just a tiny bit, but still up 4.8%. We thought Algo was getting ready to push out. Let's see across the board. We've got AMP up about 2.77%. We've got VELO up a couple percent, almost 3%. We have IOTX is up about 5.6%. What is this? I guess we're going with this background. I guess we're going with nothing right now. I have my son's portfolio on, so I don't have the ad free on my TV right now because, well, you guys know the story. I like to have the stuff up here. I don't know. I guess we'll go with the cloud because the storms are brewing. But why did Gary Gensler sell all his faith? He has no his XRP has no faith. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that loser. If he sold his, that doesn't mean anything to me. I wouldn't even trust anything I read when it comes to Gary Gensler, to be honest with you. And again, when it comes to commodities, it absolutely makes no sense what's going on here. So silver's dumping as far as commodities. Fortuna Silver Mine's down 5%. First Majestic down about 2.7. Barrett's down about 1.2. And then you got B2 Gold, which had horrible earnings, and yesterday's up 5%. Today, hey, what the hell? Let's just shake it off, up 2%. It makes 0 sense. I'm telling you, this market makes absolutely 0 sense right now. It's pretty interesting how out of whack things are. But I think we're on point here still. Bitcoin's pushing out as we suspected. I mean, I don't see any other way to look at this. We talked about all of this, and now we're getting to that pivot layer that if we break above a certain layer here, we're going to end up opening up the door to that 114K. And then ultimately this cycle top at 122. But we've got so much stuff to talk about here. Do you guys find it surprising that Ethereum's up 3% right now? A foreshadow of the market. But I think XRP right now, I think XRP right now is in a very prime position here to potentially push out in the immediate short term. It's got a big flag set up. It back tested the golden cross here in the 4-hourly. It held that 263.5 pivot layer that I talked about, that if you go a little bit lower than that, it's going to invalidate this and we might have to come down and make another reversal. But this is it's a pretty incredible thing that we're seeing here. That so many people fell bearish, and then all of a sudden We talked last week how it looked like next week, which is now, we would have some kind of catalyst that would move crypto just based on how all the technicals look. And now, slowly but surely, we're starting to get some catalyst here. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, we'll do the intro, and then we'll, first things first. Coinbase says the SEC has agreed to end bogus enforcement case against crypto exchange. We can watch a little video from the CEO of Coinbase, Brian Armstrong. And that's only about 4 minutes. So we'll watch, see what the CEO of Coinbase says. Now, does this give a little more validity to trade on Coinbase? Possibly in the USA now. Possibly in the USA now, because you don't have to worry about the over-the-top nonsense. But we'll take a look at that. I'll study the exchange deeper now that they've come to this decision, because they do have different assets that we can buy on there. But it's a no. I've never used Coinbase. I've never liked Coinbase. But the fact they're getting a little clarity from the SEC, this is good news if you use Coinbase. If I'm being honest, this is a good thing to see. This is a step in the right direction. Means absolutely nothing at this point for XRP. All the speculation can continue for Ripple. But this seems to be the first domino in a row that should fall. So we'll definitely be paying attention to this. We'll definitely be paying attention to this. Gary, welcome in from Shanghai, China. Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful seeing where everybody comes from in this audience. So let me do the intro, and then we're going to get into an active discussion here, because I really do think XRP is moments away from probably surging out of this area. I think it's in an opportune moment, and we'll discuss it further with the audience, what you think about this Friday when it actually comes to XRP. And even more than just XRP, when it comes to crypto as a whole. When it comes to crypto as a whole. So with that being said, first thing I want to do is thank everybody for being here. I know it's early on Friday. Most people are at work. I don't usually do lives in the morning during the week, except on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday sometimes if my son's not in school and so on and so forth. Saturday and Sunday, I always try to start the day with a live, because the rest of the day, I don't know how it's going to go besides doing like a short the rest of the day. During the week, if you're new, I generally do an update in the morning, a short in the early afternoon, and a live at 6 p.m. Probably won't be alive tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. One, because I'm already doing the live now. Two, my son's got therapy at 2:30, which will go until about 3:30, which means it won't be home until about 4, and then we got to do dinner. And then Michigan's playing Michigan State in basketball. See, I don't watch professional sports, but I do like Michigan basketball and football. And since Michigan's #1 in the Big Ten right now, because of Dusty May, I want to watch them against Michigan State. It's 12 versus 14. And I may put a little money on the game. So I like to, haven't made a bet in a while. Since the Super Bowl win that I told everybody about, the over with Philly, the contrarian pick. And it ended up paying off hella pay. It was good pay. So I'm going to use some of that, because I haven't made a bet since. I'm going to use some of that on the Michigan State game. So good morning. 10:11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Friday, February 21st, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Another thing that makes me happy this morning, I see DigiByte's up 2.4%, VeChain's up 3.6%, and it looks like VeChain's getting ready to surge. Same thing with ZIL up 4.11%. XDC's lagging behind the competition, but I wouldn't be so surprised if it bounces out in a very, very relative moment. But the funny thing is with XDC is we just got to wait for confirmation, because, yeah, that does look like a bear flag. And it hasn't come back down here yet to tap this area. So if this bear flag plays out, this should come down here, and then we should reverse around. Unless XDC uses this as like a little uptrend here, or a little bit of a somewhat stationary support here. It could use that, but if it falls past that, it's going to fall into a bear flag. What the hell? I can't deal with all this. I'm going to go back to my normal background, since I won't have to watch all these stupid commercials. Oh, we'll go to this one. Got some snow in the background. I find two Tom's Army on Telegram. They don't look like it's you. What do you mean? I have a link here. It's me. If it says Tom's Army, it's mine. I shared a link. It has to be mine. I had two Tom's Armies. The initial Tom's Army And now there's Tom's Army 2.0. I literally shared the link. That's me on the pinned comments. It's mine. You're not searching for Tom's Army in there. I shared a link so that you guys can find it without any BS. Click on the pinned comment. And I have more than one category. There's like 7 different subcategories. Now, somebody's probably imitating me on Telegram because that's what people do because they have no morals. So make sure you click on the link I give you and you have no problem. Simple. Make sure you click on the link that I shared in this live. This is what my Telegram looks like. I have Tom's Army 2.0. That's all you should know. That's all you should know. 200 people in here now that I've opened it back up after 2 years. But there's all these different categories. So, and you will find another one. There's another, I used to have Tom's Army, and then I switched to Tom's Army 2.0. And that's how I got rid of all the bad actors. And it took a very, very long time to do this. So you get no chances. You come in here, you have a good attitude, or I kick you out. And your only warning is the warning that you've seen before you clicked on that pinned comment. Tried it a different way a couple years ago and it backfired. So got to be good people or you're going to get kicked out. And I don't care if anybody gets mad at me for that. That's just the way it's got to be. We got to keep this community, So, but with that being said, XDC, as long as we hold this, looks like a bull flag is setting up, or almost like a pennant, actually. Lower highs and higher lows, almost like a pennant. If this were to break down, whoever said that about the other Tom's Armies, thank you for mentioning that, because there are a lot of scammers. And I know there are some on Telegram. Facebook doesn't do anything about it. TikTok doesn't do anything about it. Everybody who rags on YouTube, you guys should all thank your shining stars that YouTube doesn't allow imitators to represent my content. They will ban them immediately. It's not allowed on YouTube. You can get impersonators in the comments. But when was the last time you seen somebody with XRP Future Millionaire in my comments? It's usually a different kind of spam that's universal. But at least on YouTube, you don't have to worry about a secondary channel popping up of me because it's not allowed. They have copyright actions in place, which is why I respect YouTube over any other platform. TikTok allows people to literally take my content. They'll ban me and they'll let them use it. Same thing with Facebook. They demonetize me on Facebook while letting others take monetization for my own work. So that's why you won't ever see me do anything original on Facebook. TikTok, it's reproduced stuff from here except for the 60-second short for the same reason. I don't respect the platforms. I used to go live on TikTok, but maybe in the future I will, but it's kind of a waste of my time because they don't respect your content. Plus, TikTok is literally just a bunch of bullshit because it's just some idiots. I'm just being honest. It's some idiots that are selling you bullshit that you don't need to buy. And I have 1,000 of them every single day that I've shown you guys where it's, I get commission if I wanted to sell these stupid products. They send you them for free. You have to say that they're good. Then they pay you a cut. Sound familiar when you're going through TikTok? So stay away from that garbage. If somebody's telling you to buy a product on there, don't buy it. They're getting paid. Simple. 95% of TikTok turned into that. Lost sound. I don't know. I don't know if you've lost sound. I don't know why you would have, but can everybody tell me, did you guys lose sound? Tom would love your take on ice. Well, first I need to know if you guys can hear me. Because if you can, all right, tell Kryptonian to reset. Can somebody type in for Kryptonian? And let him know to reset his YouTube. That's all you, can somebody just please type into Kryptonian, like say, hey, Kryptonian, restart. Real quick. The fake one is going by XRP Future Millionaire 90. You know what's sad about that? That means when I started re-inviting people, somebody took it upon themselves to start a new Telegram, which is a shame. And guys, for the record, if you see XRP Future Millionaire with anything else other than my name spelled like that, XRP Future Millionaire 90, obvious fraud. And it sucks. Hold on, I'm going to blow my nose real quick, but stay vigilant because it's craziness. How many people are imitating me? Like thousands of... if you got 10,000 people plus probably are imitating me. There's over 1,000 people on TikTok and 500 on Facebook that have fake accounts of me. It's ridiculous. All right. And the craziest thing about that is you don't even know how many people get scammed by these people in my audience that for some reason are willing to open up their wallet to a scammer who says, hey, send me 1,000 XRP and I'll give you 2, but would never show a single moment of support for actually sharing the content or anything like that. But then they think that they're going to get something for. I just don't understand that mindset. I'm not even giving you free advice as far as, hey, buy here or sell there. I'm making you do the work yourself based on the analysis. So why would I send you 5,000 XRP for 2,500? Or it doesn't make any sense. So be smart. That's all I'm going to say. Be smart and take advantage of the fact that some in the audience have brought up these scammers and don't fall for it. Yeah, they offer to manage. They offer to manage your exactly. Like I'm not a financial advisor, so. You're easy to clone and use your profile to scam. Yeah, everybody's easy to scam. A scammer is going to scam. That's how it works. Let's see. I don't think I'm easy to clone. I think people are just not smart enough not to fall for it. If you knew me, it's impossible to clone me because I never asked for any of your information. I never message you independently, and I never asked for any of your stuff ever. Even when I used to do copy trading, I wouldn't manage your portfolio. You would have to follow me, and it would be linked to mine, but I never even knew who you were. So that's the thing. Like, I've never even offered to manage anybody's money, and nor am I a financial advisor. I say it every day. You know, so it's an interesting dynamic we live in, where people are so susceptible because they want so much. I think that's the government base. Part of it's the government because they offer so much assistance. So people expect to get stuff for free when in reality nobody should unless they're literally at the despair of despair. Like I hear too many people complain about they can't work and stuff like that because they're disabled and all this. Most of it's tomfoolery. Most people are just lazy. I broke my back and such, and I've had so many significant injuries. I should be somebody not working, but there's always a way. I found the computer. You know, sometimes we got to use it up here instead of, you know, here. Because we can't always use our muscle. But anyhow, that's neither here nor there. The scammers, they do bother me, but it is what it is. It's just like in every other field. You're going to get scammers who think they can take advantage of an unsuspecting group. So, just be wise. So, let's read the Coinbase stuff as the U.S. continues to consolidate here. I still think XRP is getting ready for a surge. This looks like we're getting ready for a push out of here. Unless we lose $2.60. I'm serious. Unless we lose this, I suspect we're going to have a surge up here. Remember how yesterday we talked about algo real quick so we can touch base. It's come down to about 2.4% in the morning, but we talked about algo. How it was in like a rising channel, and then we gave our expectations that it was going to break out in the short term. It's not in a long-term channel, but it was in this little bit of a consolidator right here in the rising channel regard. And we talked about how it was going to break out, and then it'd be on the top side of this. And when this came across, it was going to it could either back test right here, but it would come above it. And I know some of you were in here yesterday and we drew this out. And now it's starting to do exactly what we need to do. And this could possibly be starting this inverse right shoulder now as it pulls up. So that's our expectation of what could happen here. And I know it's a little messy, but this is what I drew yesterday so everybody could see kind of like into the future what we were thinking. But it's an interesting thing. Oh, there's so many cool people in the Telegram. That's what I mean. Like, it took a while to get the right minds in there, but now it's an expansionary thing that every single day there's going to be a few more people, and we're just going to have to make sure we don't butt heads, and we're going to have to make sure it stays a positive place. Because once you get too many people that start flowing in, that's when the problems can start. And now there's 200 people again. So it's been a crazy surge back up to 200 in like 4 days. So let's just stay helpful. So that's the anticipation here if algo plays out properly. Now, we are in this little channel. Let me get rid of this little stuff. We are in this little channel that we broke out of, which is good. This is good. This is the first sign that we're doing what we need to do. Now, we may not hold this initially, and we might come back down here where the golden cross was in the hourly, but let's a little more importantly, we are going to want to start to hold some of these areas because we're going to start to make a push at some point to that 30 cents. It's just in the short term, we talked about the small cup that we'd fill first at 28.4. It had a little overzealousness this morning. And now it's consolidating a little bit. But this is exactly what we wanted to see waking up in the market as far as algo goes. Now, is it going to drop down? I don't know how far because every single morning at this time, it's like a freaking broken record. I say it every day. If you're trading overnight, especially leverage traders, and you wake up to a profit by 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, they're going to drop it. And then throughout the rest of the day, we do what we're going to do. I say it every single day, and it sucks because it seems like a broken record. No matter what happens, when the USA wakes up, there is always a manipulated dump. Whether it's 3, 5, 7%, we never know. XRPs went from 272 approximately to 266. You know, algo was up 6.7 or 6.8%. Now it's dropped 3%. The whole market does it every single day. So that's one of the reasons why you got to be very careful when you're leverage traders, you know, because this happens every single day. But as long as we stay on top of it and we have a fundamental understanding of the approach, it's fine. Axelar is trying to hold on to 50 cents as a support level right now. Looks like it bounced into a pull here, like a little flag pull. Little consolidation in the longer time, as you can see, because it's still consolidating. But if we come back down the uptrends right here, we don't want to lose this pattern. Oh, that's XRP Healthcare. I was going to say, that don't look right. The fuck? I'm like, that looks like XRP Healthcare. This turned into a little bit of a flag. That's better. This turned into a little bit of a flag here. And we have this golden cross that's starting to form. But we need to get over the 200-day. But right now, after a rejection at the 200, more than likely, Axelar may come down to 48.20 here real quick and try to confirm this bullish cross here between the 50 and the 100-day. Use this as support to power through the resistance on the 200. This also means we probably have a golden cross in the 30 and 45 already confirmed. Yeah, see, 45, we had already done it long ago. We're back testing. So now it's going to come through a little bit. 2 hourly was very close. Yeah, see, this is what I mean. Golden cross, we're back testing the 20-day. This is just all too common right now. We're trying to confirm a short-term pattern flip. It's remarkable because we came all the way down to support. Now we're bouncing out. The next obvious part, first resistance would be up here and then ultimately followed by 96. Man, there is some true opportunity right now if these do roll out of here. If these do roll out of here, there is some interesting times ahead. Telling you, something is suspect here in the commodities market. Like, I don't know what's going on here in the commodities and precious metals, but it's almost as if something big is getting ready to happen. And the volatility up and down every day is just, it's a little ridiculous at this point. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what the agenda is here, but it's literally the exact same thing every day with the commodities. And this looks like, if this does bust and starts breaking back down here to 429, if these break, I may have to wholesale out of my commodities because I'm not going to hold it all the way down to 299 is the problem. So we'll see what happens here. Something don't smell right here throughout all markets. As far as maybe it's going to be a big just tank job. Something's going on here. Something don't seem right. Because this doesn't seem right. The way it started this morning. Now, liquidity grabs are one thing, but can we just say something don't feel right all of a sudden here this morning as we get closer to the weekend? I'm not saying that we're breaking out. I'm just saying there was a nice liquidity strike here. So, and it's not just happening in risk. It's risk on and risk off, which means something's moving in the debt markets. Something's going on in the debt markets. And I believe that in commodities, in like gold and silver, you know, they're probably rebuying for the vault right now, so it's getting interesting. Bro, literally the only reason is because they're investigating Fort Knox to see if they actually have gold or not. Benito, you think that's the only reason why it's going up and down like that? Because I know it's ultra volatile. because of what's going on. But I think this is a scare tactic for the majority of this. This got up turning out to be one big scare tactic. I mean, we do this every single day, it feels like. But I could argue, well, what was the volatility up and down in commodities before they announced the Fort Knox stuff? And gold and silver. People say you think DGB's breaking out, not sure. Well, all you have to do is look at the chart, my friends. If you understand technical analysis, DGB is in fact breaking out, and there's no reason to second guess yourself. You can't second guess it. It's absolutely breaking out. Now, will it maintain? Nobody knows. But we had a huge descending wedge here. So if you're not familiar, that's a descending wedge that formed there on DGB. Yes, there was a lower expansion that it hit twice. But now that it bounced out of here, the thought process is we bounced out, and now we're attempting a breakout. Now, if it does get stuck here, there is a possibility it could backtest that 773 on the outside of this formation. I do, in fact, not understand it. That is why I'm here. Jennifer, welcome. Jennifer Kupiak. No, I understand. That's why I'm trying to talk it out with everybody because I'm like trying to figure out the best way to say it, because some have questions if it's breaking out, but the best way I can say it is when you've got this little descending, it's kind of like a descending wedge here. Well, not kind of, it is. And now it's going to, depending on the market cycle, this could very well bounce down here and try to validate this from a resistance and now a support standpoint instead. And that's a 7%. See, the problem is we're going into the weekend, so we need to see some upward volatility here before the weekend starts. XRP dropping to 262. As the scammers start going means it's about to have a big run and the scams run. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. You always hit these phases before. But let's read something real quick. Let's read something about Coinbase real quick. Somehow I've already stumbled off track for 27 minutes, which is not unusual. I do this a lot. 226 people watching. That's beautiful to see this Friday morning. Only 84 likes, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm not too worried about that anymore. You guys are going to hit the like button if you feel the need. If not, I'm not going to get on my hands and knees and beg you. Coinbase says the SEC has agreed to end bogus enforcement case against crypto exchange. So before I read anything, I want to play this.
Here's one. I'm him.
Yeah, let's get through an ad first, but that's okay.
New this morning, Coinbase saying the SEC has agreed to dismiss its enforcement case now against the company. These are the charges that were filed back in 2023. By the way, the stock up about 5% on the back of this news. That investigation and the effort start.
FYI, somebody should investigate into the Coinbase investor last night at 4 a.m. who dropped $40 million on Coinbase stock. I'm just saying. Is Department of Government Efficiency, is Elon Musk really going to do his job? Because if XRP Future Millionaire could dig up that detail, so the Department of Government Efficiency, or Elon Musk, shouldn't they be looking into the $40 million investor at 4 a.m. this morning, and then this news came out at 6? Has anybody even heard about this investor? Somebody invested $40 million into Coinbase stock 2 hours before this was handed out. How much you want to bet it was a government employee? Or somebody with ties to the government, or in the know? It's pretty suspect to drop $40 million 2 hours before this happened.
It started in 2023 when the SEC sued Coinbase for operating as an unregistered securities exchange broker and clearing agency for failing at the time to register the offer and sale of its staking as a service program. Now, I spoke to Coinbase's co-founder and CEO Brian Armstrong about how all of this happened.
First of all, this is a huge day for us and also for the 50 million Americans who hold crypto, the whole crypto industry in the world. I think it's a really important signal that this small group of activists in this prior administration who tried to unlawfully attack this industry, we're going to be able to turn the page on that and finally get some regulatory clarity in America. But to answer your question, how this all happened, I mean, Yeah, in 2023, they came to us and said, we think you're trading securities on your platform. But the problem with that is if you go back to just a few years prior, we had gone public. We had explained everything about our business to the SEC. They asked us a million questions. They knew exactly what our listing process was and how we took a very conservative approach. And then a few years later, the political climate changed and they suddenly changed their mind. But that's not how it works. If you're a regulator, you can't just make up new rules if you don't like the existing ones. They have to follow the law and they have to publish clear rules that the industry can then adhere to. And so this case was bogus, and we were right on the facts. If we hadn't stood up for our customers' rights and actually pushed back against this, it could have been the end of the crypto industry in America. So
another thing that gives them a little bit of credibility is the fact they didn't hand over their customers. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, for all the hate that we could have gave Coinbase, at least they stood behind their customers and they actually fought the SEC. You don't even know how many exchanges caved in and got rid of the rights to the USA. It was ridiculous, and I would never support an exchange that couldn't stand their own ground. So if they didn't have the balls or testicular fortitude to go toe-to-toe with the government, knowing the law of the land, they don't deserve my business, nor will they ever get my business going forward. And I've said this about many different exchanges. It's not going to happen. At least Coinbase had the cojones to stand up for what they knew.
Incredibly proud of this outcome and what we did to defend our customers' rights.
Can you, though, take us behind the scenes, though, about how the SEC and this administration ultimately decided to end the enforcement action, and what kind of conversations you had with them?
Yeah, well, this was a long process, and you know, I think what they realized.
Okay, let me address the comments real quick. I'm sorry for keep pausing, but as far as the Ripple case is already over. The only thing left is the monetary donation part of it. How much are they going to make Ripple donate to the SEC if it stays? It's already not a security. That's already happened. All the rest is noise. It can't be changed. So it's apples and oranges compared to Coinbase right now. It's apples. You can't even compare the two. Ripple's already been given the green light that they're not a security and they're in fact a commodity. So this is apples and oranges. Think about it. This is all bullshit with Ripple right now. It's only monetary value. They're only looking for some higher payment from Brad Garlinghouse and Christian A. It had nothing to do with Ripple as a whole. It's what we got to remember. This absolutely had everything to do with the Coinbase exchange. It's a little bit different here. So calm down and hold your horses, everybody. The emotions are going to kill each and every one of you who continue to use them and say, oh, this has to happen now or it's never going to. Like, come on now, people. I don't want you to hear selectively like George said. I want you guys to hear the truth. I don't want you to ramble on in your own brains and be afraid. Just hear the facts. The Ripple has already been granted a non-security status for life. They're already part of the CFTC now, as we've seen with the Commodities Future Trading Index, or Commission, I mean. They're a commodity. We need to move on from the narrative that the lawsuit isn't over yet. The only thing not over is how much Brad Garlinghouse and Christian A. Larson's and the bunch have to pay the government. Has nothing to do with us at this point. So we just got to stay straight and narrow and absolutely understand what's going on.
Is that they were going to lose badly. And I have to give a lot of credit actually to this new administration that's come in, and Paul Atkins, some of the existing commissioners like Uyeda and Peirce. I think they're in the process of reforming the SEC and trying to clean up some of these actions where the SEC really painted outside the bounds of the law in the past. That was clear to some of the folks in the SEC at the time, and I think it's clear to the folks that are in charge now. And so I got to give them a lot of credit. They're coming in, and I hope that they'll dismiss all the bogus cases, frankly, and it'll be a domino effect for the rest of the industry.
In terms of how this is all going to work in practice, what's the next step in the process? So do the commissioners have to vote?
Yeah, what we're told is that next week the commissioners will vote on it. It seems to be a formality at this point, but the staff they're telling us they're recommending to the commissioners that this be fully withdrawn. And I want to be clear, this is not a settlement where we pay some fine and admit some wrongdoing. This is just, they're fully withdrawing the case. And so we're not changing anything about the business. We're not paying a single dollar as a fine, which I believe is quite unprecedented in SEC history.
How much does this legal battle cost the company?
Yeah, you know, I don't mind telling you, actually. We went and tallied it back up because I asked the exact same question. And just on external legal fees, I believe we spent about $50 million. That does not include, by the way, the cost of internal employees that we spent on this. So it was in excess of $50 million.
At this point, given this cloud may be moving away. How do you see the regulatory regime moving forward? What are you seeking? What are you asking for? And what do you think is going to happen?
This legal precedent is very important to make sure that, you know, we can't revisit this issue again, or a future SEC administration can't revisit it again.
If you're asking if there's been something by the SEC about the Coinbase, you're looking at the source right here. That is the Coinbase CEO, Brian Armstrong. Who cares what the SEC says right now? Listen to the noise. Listen to the coming out of the. This would be like Brad Garlinghouse getting up here and telling us this. Would you care what the SEC said? No. So we're going to look into the SEC, but pay attention to what the CEO. That's the only reason I'm even sharing this video. I don't care what anybody else has to say. I go to the source. So I went right to the source, which is the CEO of Coinbase. You're not going to get any better information.
But what we really need to do in the United
Sorry,
States,
I'm talking loud, but my voice is like cracking.
Have Congress pass legislation, and that's going to have a couple of key components to it. There's already some stablecoin draft legislation being discussed in Congress. That's an important piece, so we can have a digital dollar that preserves America's reserve currency status. We also need to get token classification, or market structure, some people call it, which is essentially just clarifying which of these crypto assets are commodities, securities, payment tokens, artwork, or something else, so that we know how it should be regulated.
Right, James.
The third one I would say
That's
would be
fair.
a strategic Bitcoin reserve. I think that would be an important asset for the United States.
You know what I must say? Like, the other crazy thing is, like, I know some of you know I've been working out in the gym for like 3 years now. Like, seeing how I look, like, just in this little picture, it's like, I almost feel like I'm like, what's going on with my, but then I remember, like, my body is getting so caught up now, it's crazy. From lifting weights and stuff and eating properly and fasting 16 out of 24 hours a day. I can see it, though. It actually makes you feel good when you can see results. Now, with XRP, what was the first thing we talked about this morning? The manipulated pull down, something didn't seem right. I didn't say it for no reason. It's just all of a sudden you could see liquidity start to be tugged. And now we've come back through here. So now it looks like a reversal on the 4-hourly. The exact reason I said when we get into the morning why it's dangerous after something's been up to hold in the USA, we can never get past this in the USA. No matter how good it looks around the rest of the world, we can never get past this. And it's a pretty remarkable thing because it's not just crypto this morning. It's not just crypto. It's not. Gold's down. Well, gold's got to consolidate, and silver a little bit. But you can see commodities are down. USDT's up, which is a bad sign. USDT's making a bullish reversal. That's bearish for crypto. If this happens, we don't want this to happen. But if USDT goes up, the way I look at it is when the stablecoin dominance goes up, less people are trading in the tokens. They have the money coming to the side. And it sucks because it's the weekend. We've dumped 9 straight weekends. And look at it. Isn't it amazing how quick Ethereum went from up 3%? I'm just saying. Isn't it amazing how quick Ethereum was up 3% when we woke up in the USA, and it just dumped 5% since we woke up? Literally. Since the USA came online. This is probably one of the worst manipulated times in crypto that I've seen in quite some time. And the problem is it's going to end up, we're going to get a cataclysmic moment here that it's either going to have the biggest surge out of here, or this is going to be one of those big tops. And, you know, it's one of those things. But right now, I'm just looking at this in stride. We still know where we sit in the time frames. We know where we sit on the charts. And the 4-hourly, that's horrible. That's a horrible candle. The daily, that's a horrible candle right now. If it doesn't pull back up. Everything that looked good yesterday, and when we initially woke up, now looks like trash. This looks horrible in the 4-hourly. This could invalidate the golden cross. And something is causing this. So we look at the Coinbase news as a little bit of a catalyst, and then what happens? Money starts flowing away from Like something's going on now. See, and that it's amazing. It's amazing the way it works. Because do you think it's by design that Ethereum was up almost 4 to 5% initially, and now within a matter of an hour since the USA woke up, it's down better than 1% now instead of being up 4 to 5%? Do you think this is by design or as a surprise, or do you think oftentimes they trade while the USA is sleeping to entice the USA users when we wake up, just to rug pull us every single morning? Starting to get the fact that maybe this goes a little bit deeper, huh? We're starting to get the fact that we need to pay attention if this is a right shoulder or not, because it very clearly could be, and we need to start paying attention to the fact, is this all bullshit right now, and we're done in 25. Newbie panic seller theory. There's no way that retail has such an impact. Who said anything about retail? When I say manipulation, this isn't retail causing this. It never has been, never will be. This is all the big players. Me too. Same with me. Calling me. Same with me. Because when you see the charts early, huh?
He got all 6.
He got what?
All 6.
He did. He sounds good this morning. I haven't even heard a cough.
I haven't heard one sniffling.
Oh, so we're sniffling now and he's not? I know it is. My son is doing good this morning. But guys, I wouldn't panic so much about this. This is the common thread now. This is what happens. The manipulation is so strong that it's interesting. It could be but look, you guys want some positivity, and if you're a newbie here, this is common standard procedure, and I talk very truthfully in the moments. And so when I talk like this, listen, because you can hear a little bit between the lines. Crypto Fear and Greed Index. Let's refresh this real quick. Back up to greed. See, I don't like when it's in greed. So slightly greedy right now. Read Eleanor, Tom. Eleanor Tourette. Are you guys talking about Eleanor Tourette? The Fox lady or whatever? No, retail cannot move crypto. Sorry. Not like, whenever people say retail's moving it, it's not. It's not. It's the bigger investors, the whales, the institutional investors, the actual, what I think happens a lot of times is the individual exchanges have, and this is my own theory, each different token has a set amount of tokens that they use with the trading bot. And I don't care who it is, XRP, DGB, ZIL, Bitcoin, Ethereum, VeChain, I don't care who it is. Hell, XCN, for some of you, I don't really care who it is. I think each and every token that's out there, they have set amount, 10, 15, 20, 30% of their tokens that are audibly moved in an up-down direction based on the designated need at the time for crypto. Because it's impossible. Let me repeat that. It's impossible. Every single time we have a market drop, every token drops. It's impossible that every time we have a market pump that every single token pumps. It's not possible. And yes, there's variations because the memes will do the opposite. But my point is, all utility pumps at the same time or dumps at the same time. All ISO pumps at the same time or dumps at the same. It just can't really do that. CoinMarketCap has not been updated for a while. That's why I don't use it anymore. They're so far behind, it's disgusting lately. They have theirs, yeah. At Fear and Greed, neutral's 50. I don't know what's going on with CoinMarketCap, but it's been fading over the last few months, as we noticed. So I think that's just what's going on. And no, it's not rocket scientist Kryptonian, but a lot of people don't want to hear it, unfortunately. But if we go into this, and there's a reason I came on this morning, because I felt like something bad, well, not bad, but I felt like we were going down to liquidity again for some reason. It's why I started out so strong about, well, this doesn't feel right this morning. Once again, the U.S. wakes up and they're going to use us for liquidity. But now let's look at the monthly on XRP. Like, Okay. So if we come down here again, one more time, which is possible, and look at that big long wick. Let's say we come down here. We've got an area, I would say right around $2.24. Okay, 225, which is the target zone. There's $400 billion in liquidation. So sure, we could come down there. Now, do you really think, and I'm going to ask you guys this for real, do you really think with how manipulated crypto is, that the government and whoever's in charge of this is going to let all of these short traders up here, not just right here with 409 million at 283, but all the way up here at $3.22, 558 billion, 466, 361, 558 at 322. Look at all this. There's trillions of dollars in liquidation. I would be absolutely dumbfounded if they don't come up there, even if this market's bearish, to take that liquidity. It would be stunning. It would be the most stunning development I've ever seen, unless that's all institutions that are shorting it right now. But still, that's a massive amount of liquidity because typically the rich don't leverage. Let me repeat that. The rich don't leverage trade. Sure, they might have a little bit of risk reward and have some fun because they're gamblers at heart. But when you have $10 million to throw at XRP, you're not taking out a $100,000 trade and Xing it by 10 to make it $1 million trade. Or you hear what I'm saying? Or a 50X trade to make it a $5 million trade. They're just throwing $5 million on it in spot and letting it do its job. That's the big difference here. That's the big difference here. So all of us that are broke in retail, because we are compared to the rich people, we will use leverage, and that's the biggest con in the game. Not only are we going to pay interest to open that leverage trade, but we're going to be denoted to the fact that if it goes 80% in one direction or the other, not even a full 100%, most times you're liquidated. It's possible, Crypto Cooter. That is definitely possible. Oh, there's going to be a huge long coming somewhere in here. And that's why we're waiting for that catalyst moment. The moment that they say that the SEC has dropped a Ripple case, you're going to get a massive surge. And maybe that's how they do it. Maybe that's how they do the initial surge up. Then we'll have to go from there. I mean, I don't think it's going to be what everybody thinks when the SEC says it's over. I don't think we're going up 10,000%. I think we might get a 1x move, maybe get up to that 549, 679 in the best case scenario. But I don't believe that them just saying it is going to cause 1,000% surge like everybody thinks. I think most of us are going to be sadly disappointed because I won't be, because my expectations are where they should be. But most who are expecting it to go to 50, 100, 500 right when that happens, you're going to be sadly mistaken. You know, so let's keep our prerogative and our priorities straight. But look at all this money up here. So, you know, never sleep on the bear. Or should I say never sleep on the bull when there's so much liquidation up above. Don't sleep on the bear either in the short term when you can pick up this liquidity to fire us to the top. So it all goes hand in hand. But somebody asked about DGB. We can absolutely look at DGB and the liquidity map. Absolutely. Got a lot right here. Got a little bit over the top here at 009. The most liquidity right now is since we took out this area. And it's not going to be the billions of dollars like XRP, which shows you how manipulated it is. But $8 million up at about 009. There's not much below. That's the good news. And then you got to come up here to even grab anything of substance. But most of it's right here around the 1 cent level. So there's not much around this area. If we go to Bitcoin, actually I have Bitcoin on here already. I have its own liquidation map, so I don't have to keep changing out Bitcoin. Plus, I like a slightly different Bitcoin chart that I use. I like the magma. So for Bitcoin, we've come into some severe liquidity here. There's some big liquidity. Does it make you guys ever wonder? Does it make you ever wonder when you're looking at liquidity? You remember the price of Bitcoin liquidity and how much liquidity there is on Bitcoin? Remember the XRP, how much liquidity there is over the top? Isn't it astounding that there's that much more leverage trading taking place on XRP? Doesn't it almost make you guys feel like how gold and silver is manipulated through the call and shorts and paper? Almost feels like that with XRP with the amount of leverage that is being moved up and down. Doesn't seem right. Let me go back to this just to validate something because I can get every single exchange on this one. So let's see something real quick. Exactly what I'm saying, man. So, I mean, there's no way. Look at XRP. The amount of liquidation is on XRP. 476 billion. Bitcoin's in the millions. It doesn't make any sense. XRP by far is the heaviest traded fucking token that you can find. I mean, look at this. Even for liquidity purposes, you're not even in the $1 billion range. We're talking 400 billion in areas of XRP. There's not as much money flowing into Bitcoin in these senses as XRP, and it's obvious. It is so obvious something is up here. It's like I can't quite put my finger on exactly the moment for XRP, but something historic is going to go down here. There's no two ways of look at the liquidity alone. It's crazy. We're talking Bitcoin in the sense of $700-800 million in the higher levels. Yet we go to XRP and we're talking 316 billion, 476 billion. Absolutely, silver should be way over 100. 1 point. Oh, is this why everybody was telling me to look at Eleanor Tourette? Hey, I don't want to sound like the smartest guy in the room, but what did I say about Ethereum? It's a joke. Oh, Eleanor Tourette, somebody said. I'm sorry. Eleanor. Is that on? Should I be looking for her on X? What am I looking at? Oh, maybe it's about the stake. Are you guys talking about the staking with Eleanor Tourette? Sure did, Pump Master Flash. You better believe it. You better believe it, my friend. And it's pretty crazy when you see it by the numbers. I'm just curious, is this what everybody wants? Oh. Oh, right here. This is what you guys were talking about. Duh. So, Fox reporter, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission chooses to settle with cryptocurrency companies rather than directly dismissing them in order to prove that spending millions of taxpayers' money is justified. So, Eleanor Tourette said, most of the legal folks I've spoken with were of the opinion that the SEC government would try to favorably settle cases with crypto firms instead of outright dismissing as a way of justifying spending millions of taxpayer dollars and saving a little bit of face. Mark Udea and Hester Pierce really told Coinbase, sorry for the inconvenience, you're free to go. As we say in the UK, a real kick in the teeth to Gensler and the Biden SEC's regulation by enforcement regime. Not so fast, my friends, because we continue to misrepresent this. When did the XRP lawsuit start? 2020. Who was in office? Oh, Trump. Who hired Gary Gensler? Come on now, let's not be stupid enough to believe what they're telling us. Like, read between the damn lines. This is a collective effort. Period. As we say in the UK, it's better for Ripple to settle rather than to drop. No, it's not. You don't want. Why would you want a settlement? Well, I mean, I guess in regards to, what do you mean? You want a settlement so they have to pay funds that they don't owe? I mean, I guess if you want to put it in that perspective, but I couldn't disagree with that more. Who hired? But it might have started under Biden, but who hired the one who started the lawsuit? Read between the lines, people. Biden didn't hire Gensler, okay? Just like Biden didn't start the lawsuit. Who hired Gensler? Nobody, just please answer my question. I don't care about politics. But who hired Gary Gensler? No, Hillary did not hire Gary Gensler. Stop, Mandy. Thank you. One person had the balls to say it. We like Trump, but he hired Gensler. What's wrong with saying it, people? Like, let's be honest with ourselves. Let's not try to lie about it. Because the worst thing we can do is lie to ourselves. No, Obama did enough bad stuff, but he didn't hire Gensler in this regard. Mr. T, somebody said, Julie, hired Trump. I mean, hired... But, I mean, if I see that, I'm confused here. So if Ripple settles with the SEC instead of it being dropped outright, how does that give a clearer perception that Ripple is right? And to me, I would be like, oh, Ripple just has a big enough stack to where they can pay off the government. If they don't have to pay anything, and it's ruled not a security, and it's outright dropped, I would have more confidence that it was all bullshit. And that's not just for Ripple, that's for everything. Like, I'm failing to understand that logic by some of you. Not that I hate that you're sharing it, I'm just trying to understand from your guys' level, like, what we're seeing there. Like, I think it would be better with an outright drop. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. And who did Jay Clayton hire, Messi? Or who did Jay Clayton endorse to become the SEC chair? See, now we're getting somewhere. Gotta wait for the names to come out in chat first. So anyhow, yeah, I got lambasted over getting a little mad at Trump for having the meme tokens and driving out of utility and doing some of the things. But I understand it's a political game and it's a sum zero game. So, you know, it's all just... But this is another very important reason. This is a very important reason. Oh, man. It's a very important reason why we don't allow ourselves to get emotionally attached to the politics. Because, as you can very clearly see just by the chat, if somebody likes Biden or somebody likes, you know, Trump, or if somebody likes the Republicans or Democrats, they'll never see what the central banks are doing at the top. Like, we're all puppets right now. That's right. Thank you, George. So I mean, we can add it up for what it is. I just want to try to stay on top of this. I don't care who's in office. I just want to be on top of it. And right now we know it's a game right now to try to... I don't necessarily think the market's just ready to cave in. We see all that liquidity over the top, but we are going into a weekend. So would I be surprised another weekend dump? No, we've done it 9 weeks in a row. Who said that? Mr. Max said, whoever is sitting at the Resolute desk, they do the bank's bidding. That's how they got there. Duh. I couldn't have said it better myself. That's right, love song. George Carlin, the big club, and you and I ain't in it. So, I wish George Carlin was still alive. Guy was so far and ahead of his time, it was crazy. Especially in the 70s, when you listen to his stuff from the 70s, when he was clearly on like LSD and stuff. Oh my God, it was so funny. When he was clearly out of his gall on some of these hallucinogenics, when you'd hear him talk, his eyes are wide as if you just licked a toad. He was living the life, man. But he told a lot of truth. Carlin was absolutely the GOAT. Oh yeah, Zebek. My expectation was that it would come down and back test the initial breakout that it never did yet. So when we came up here and I transitioned out of 33% already, it was because I suspected it dropped back down to 1.3. And who knows if it'll stop there. But we definitely started a cup, and now we're going to try to build a handle here. So, like, going to the toll booth. Oh my God, it was... John, what a funny memory brought back from that. Oh my God, he was so funny. I like Cat Williams. I kind of feel like Cat Williams is controlled opposition, though. I'm sorry if I offend people. I think he's funny. I do like Cat Williams, but there's too many coincidences that I can't disregard. But, well, I mean, and the only reason a controlled opposition, you know, some people are allowed to continue to talk the stuff is because they're controlled opposition. So I don't know. I do like Cat Williams, though. I just feel like there's more to it than we know in that regard. But I could say the same thing about George Carlin being able to continue to talk for decades upon decades, you know. There's so much controlled opposition that we don't even know about. But for Zebek, I mean, I could see 1, 2, 5, 5 even, because there's the golden cross that it would have to hold. And so many other things, but we'll see if this builds that inversion. This could very well have had a big rally, and now it could very well just dump it out. That's the problem with some stuff like this. Oh, that was great, Sean. But it's amazing how this, it's amazing. Like, how every single day it never changes when it gets to the U.S. waking up. It's almost as if everything's gravy, and then the USA wakes up and it all just caves. All of a sudden, it just all caves every single morning. And then by the time we get to noon or 1 o'clock, it starts performing the way it probably should. But if Ethereum had that big of a hack, which I know it was big because I've been seeing the rumors on the bottom of my screen. That's why I keep scrolling back down on the news real quick. But now I know this is 11 minutes old now, so I know. Look at 10:30, Ethereum holds key support. Analyst doubts bears can defend 4,000 level anymore. Trying to make this up. 24 minutes later, crypto exchange Bybit hacked as over 1 billion worth of Ethereum leaves wallets. This is almost like Victor Wembanyama or whatever that long goofy guy's name is, because I don't watch the NBA anymore. But it's almost like how somebody put 10,000, or what was it? 10 grand on him at minus 3,500. Don't ask me why. Last night, that he'd be the defensive player of the year. And he literally posts, unless an act of God occurs, this is going to happen. The next morning, hours later, they announce he's out for the season. Like, you don't think it's all rigged? You don't think it's all rigged? And now with crypto having all these up-down options and futures and shorts, and it's so weird. But it's all just like sports betting now. It is all rigged. You can't even watch the games for what they are anymore. And there's something so crazy going on here. Here it is. I like BITUNIX over a lot of other ones. FYI. Yes, I do. That's why I use it. But who really knows? Who really knows at this point? But the one reason I like BITUNIX, and everybody can have their own opinions on everything, BITUNIX stood their ground and never got rid of XRP during the lawsuit era. I wish I would have known that when I first started with Uphold. I would have never used it. So, this is, do you think this is by design that these hacks are happening right now? Do you really believe hacks are actually happening, or do you think it's just the governments around the world? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't buy it at one bit. And I've talked about Bybit being the worst exchange you could possibly use with security. It's one that I wouldn't even look at. Fortunately, they don't even allow USA users, but I've begged my audience, I don't want, no. I don't like Caleb and Brown. Here, can I tell you a story about Caleb and Brown? I've told it before. They sent me a message because they wanted me to promote their exchange. Now, what they were offering me was suspect as hell. So they charge everybody between 3 and 5% per trade because they're going to be your online broker, which you don't need in crypto, FYI. So they're going to charge you in case you want to make a phone call to them, or message them, I better say, not a phone call, or maybe a phone call. They want you to pay an extra 3 to 5% over the top on every trade, even if you don't want to use their service, with the illusion that they're a broker for you. And they were offering me, out of that percentage, to give me half of the user's funds if I got them to sign up to Caleb and Brown and use that. So, on the grounds as a whole, I would never use them. Got to read between the lines between Crypto Hawk. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Good information. Wouldn't listen to him on what to buy, when to buy it, and where to buy it. So, but yeah, it's not a bad exchange. It's just you got to pay 3 to 5% per trade, and there's no getting around it. It's built into their protocol because they're offering you to be like your financial advisor, so to say. The exchange is solid. It's just with all the fees and stuff, and the fact they're going to pay promoters like me to push the exchange rubs me the wrong way. Like BITUNIX doesn't pay me to talk about them. You know, when I talk about HOTCOIN and crypto, they're not paying me to talk about it. I only talk about it because I use it. But I mean, you can learn TA yourself, my friend. You can. And like, it takes little steps. You come in here every day and we ask the right questions. We watch the right stuff. You come into my army, or in the Tom's Army Telegram, which has added about 12 people during the live, it looks like. And you come in here, and I literally do little things like this, and I added one yesterday with the descending lead. All you have to do, and this is going back to 2023 when I first started this before we got, you know, crushed by the spammers, but I literally went through and showed a whole bunch of charts in real time on what all of this meant at the time. So you can take it upon yourself step by step to learn this step by step by step by step. It just takes time and patience and energy. I didn't get to where I'm at now. It took me years and years and years to be able to just look at something and like, oh, that's not right. Oh, that's what we're in. Or that's how it is. Or that's where to look. Or this is where the info is. So, but guys, I as much as I don't want to go, I have to go. Friday morning, my son came out here. He really wants me to go. But we'll probably end up having a live tonight. There's no two ways about it. As long as I can swing it with my son and he's good, you're most likely going to see me back here tonight. When my son's in his therapy, instead of doing a short today, I'm probably just going to take my tablet to his therapy at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm going to do another update because this is running out of control here. But we have to read one thing, though, about Ethereum, and then I have to go. If you want to continue the discussion, look in the video description below of this very live in the pinned comments. And don't hesitate to join the Telegram. No donations or new members of Tom's Army in this live, which I wouldn't either because look at the market. I always tell you guys, like, I want you to hold your money. Even if you want to send a donation, wait until something happens. Wait until I've earned it. You know, like, we got to be smart with our funds, especially at this time. I'd rather you sign up to BITUNIX or some of the exchanges or one that you feel trustworthy, maybe that I don't even use, and put your money into your exchange and try to find the right spot instead of donating to me. Now, if you have over the top and you appreciate, obviously. But this whole hack thing, too, with Ethereum, I have a strange feeling this was all bullshit even in the realm, that they're just trying to grab liquidity for Ethereum before the next move up. Like, something don't feel right here today. I'm sorry. Just doesn't feel right. So you're telling me a hack happens and Ethereum hasn't fallen off by 50% right now? Like, come on now. If this was XRP and they said $1 billion got hacked, do you think XRP would still be anywhere near where it's at right now? Hey, George, thank you so much for the $1.99 donation. Consider subscribing. I appreciate that, George, and also being in Tom's Army. Jorge says, consider subscribing to Tom's channel for the best TA on YouTube. I really appreciate that. And as some of you can validate, I am actually in the Telegram a lot. A lot. When I'm present and I'm into it, as I am now again, and opened it back up, I am absolutely the forefront of it because I want to be there. And I think we're building something. So crypto exchange Bybit confirms hack, says, hold on one sec. 1.4 billion worth of Ethereum leaves wallet. So 1.4 billion leaves Ethereum wallets. Bybit, the Singapore-based centralized crypto exchange, appears to have been hacked. Early estimates suggest that exchange has lost over 1 billion worth of Ethereum and significant quantities of other tokens. Through the investigation is ongoing, or though I hope the crypto guru didn't get affected by this. That guy's been shilling Bybit for years. I hope, because he has $1 million portfolio on there, I hope his didn't get affected. And he was in Ethereum leverage trade too. I don't want anything to happen to the guru because he gives out all this information. The only thing I don't like about him is he charges $300 for a course, which if you're the guru, you shouldn't be charging that for people that are trying to make it better. Imagine if I had a $300 course and I wouldn't tell you anything except the chart from the data. Anyhow, I hope his stuff is okay. Bybit Ethereum cold wallet just made a transfer to our warm wallet about an hour ago. It appears that this specific transaction was must. All the signers saw the must UI, which showed the correct address, and the URL was from safe. However, the signing message was to change the smart contract logic of our Ethereum cold wallet. Bybit co-founder and CEO Ben Zhao posted on X. This resulted hacker took control of the specific Ethereum cold wallet. We signed and transferred all Ethereum in the cold wallet to this So you're telling me the CEO couldn't tell this was a hacker? Like, get the hell out of here. Come on now. Please rest assured that all other cold wallets are secure. Who cares about you're telling me you literally signed over $1.4 billion in user funds and didn't know it was a hacker. If you are using Bybit, get the hell off of that exchange, please. I've been saying this for years. Like, what? Let me read this again. That doesn't even sound right. Bybit co-founder and CEO Ben Zhao, the resulted hacker took control of specific Ethereum cold wallet where we signed and transferred all Ethereum in the cold wallet to this unidentified. So you signed it over to the unidentified address? I don't understand. This sounds like a colluded effort. This isn't a hacker going in and taking it. The CEO literally said he signed off on this. What the hell? I always find it funny when you guys talk about Crypto Hawk in my comment section, because he actually literally threatened to come kill me one day because he got mad at me for some reason. Somebody sent me the clip. It was hysterical. That was years ago though. On Tuesday, the exchange announced it would be performing scheduled maintenance on its live server. Today, stretching into tomorrow. Bybit, the Singapore-based centralized crypto exchange. This isn't a hack. I'm telling you, this doesn't seem... How is this a hack if CEO signed... This doesn't even make sense. Something ain't right here. They did this on purpose. I need to read this again. This isn't right. The signing message was to change the smart. So, CEO Ben Zhao posted on X. This resulted hacker took control of the specific ETH cold wallet. Him, the rest of the team, we signed and transferred all Ethereum in the cold wallet to this unidentified address. How is this possible? This doesn't even make sense. Please rest assured that all other cold wallets are secure. Really? What if you sign it to the wrong address again? This is not a hack based on what this is saying. Holy smokes. On Tuesday, the exchange announced it would be performing scheduled maintenance on its live server today, stretching into tomorrow. Can't make this shit up, guys. I'm sorry, I had to read back so I could read this sentence. You can't make this up. They announced scheduled maintenance Tuesday for today into tomorrow, and this happens today. This is like when they say, we have a simulation for a school shooting, and then in the exact same place at the exact same school where all the paid actors are at, we have a school shooting. That's exactly what's going on here, and I don't want to go too deep because I'll get banned. But this is crazy. We don't need AI. We need less AI. But anyhow, this is craziness. Yeah, that's all a scam. I'm going to go. My son's out here, but this is insanity. This was all set up. I expect this to continue to move up here. We'll talk later, but this was all by design. They literally grabbed the liquidity and reversed it right away. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. They've literally pulled the wool over us once again, and most people